Good morning everyone. Welcome to the word problems of square root. Here your exercise 3.2. Here your third question. Before first and second question you have to go with find the square root with prime factorization and division method. In your question number third is your word problem is there. The area of square is 161.29 square units. Find its perimeter. You have to find the perimeter after finding the square root. Here area of square is 161.29 square units, and we go with the square root division with 161.29. Here you have to make the pair like two pairs beyond the decimal sign, because if decimal sign is there before the decimal sign you have to move right to left, and after the decimal sign you have to move left to the right for making the pair. Here I will think about the smallest number which I have to multiply, that should be less or equal to my 1. So 1 ones are 1. Same number should be written in your quotient also, like 1 into 1 gives me 1. After subtraction is 0. 61, whenever we are going to carry down the number, next pair will be carried downward. 61. Here this number, because here I multiply 1 with 1, and for the next divisor I have to add 1 plus 1. So here I write 2 and make the space for the next divisor. Next I will think the number, which number I have to place it here. When I multiply by this whole number, I got the number less than 61. So when I take it, think about 3 gives me 23, multiply 3 give me number bigger than 61. And if next I will go with the lowest number 2. Then when I move with 22 into 2, that gives me 44, that is less than 61. So I write it here 2 and same as well as in quotient. So here for the next divisor I add the last digit, like here in this I have to multiply 22 with 2, and for the next divisor I have to add 22 plus 2 give me 24 and make the space for the next divisor. So here after subtraction give me 17, 29 carry downward. Now I have to think about the number, like which number I have to multiply. 24 247, that gives me 1729. Here I multiply 247 multiplied by 7, and same number should be kept in the quotient after the decimal, because here decimal sign was there in my dividend. So same I have to mark in the quotient before carrying down the number downward. So when I multiply 247 into 7, I got the same number 1729. So my answer is 0. So ultimately square root of 161.29 is 12.7. The area of square is, if you have area of square is given, you have to find the side. Side is equal to a square root of area. When you find the square root of area, that gives you 12.7 units. And perimeter of square is 4 into side. Whatever you get the side, you multiply by 4, that gives you 50.8 units. Next your question 4 is, Krishna has 62 apples. Total Krishna has 62 apples. He put apples in some basket such that number of apples in each basket is equal to the total number of the basket. If 13 apples are left out, find the total number of baskets and number of apples in a basket. So in this question what you have to do, you have total number of apples is given to you, and Krish when he's going to arrange the apples in the basket, so he found out that 13 apples were left outside after filling up the baskets. Basically what you have to find, how many number of apples are there and how many baskets are there. So condition is same, number of apples is equal to the number of baskets. Suppose you have you have 62 apples is there, and you have some basket is in line, empty basket will be there. First you have to count how many baskets are there. Then you think that if how many baskets are there, so if I put the apple same as quantity of basket in each basket, so it will be easier to arrange the basket, and we can count easily. But after arranging this way, equal quantity of basket same as equal quantity of apples in each basket, so 13 apples were left outside. Then you have to find what is the quantity of basket or apples. So in that case, if 13 apples were left outside, so whatever apples is arranged in the basket is 62 minus 13 means 49. 49 apples arranged in the baskets. So we consider, if number of basket and number of apples are same, we consider x apples. So according to the statement, when x multiplied by x is equal to 49, when you find the square root of 49, that gives you 7. That means number of basket and number of apples were 7. It means if you have 7 basket and each basket you have to arrange 7 apples. So if you arrange 7 apples in each one basket of 7 baskets, so 49 apples will be arranged and 13 apples will be left outside. Your next is find the least number by which 8624 must be multiplied so that product is perfect square. Also find the square root of the perfect square. Whenever you have question to find the least number, either multiply or divide, you have to go with the prime factorization method. But if there is a condition of addition or subtraction of the least number in particular number to make a perfect square, you have to go with the square root division method. Here I have to find the which number I have to multiply. I get the perfect square of the number. That means that number is not a perfect square. So for that, what you have to do, you have to go with the prime factorization. 624. First I divide with 2, that gives me 4312. Then again divide with 2, 2156. Again divisible by 2, 1078. Then again divisible by 2, 539. And 7, when divisible by 7, give me 77, and 7 11s are 77. Now I arrange this factor. When I found that 2 and 7 has pair is there, but 11 is not in pair. So that means to balance the equation I need one more 11 here, 11 pair here. So I multiply both sides by 11 to balance. So when I multiply, I get 94,864, and here equal number of pair is there. And when you go with the square root, you have to pick each number from each pair, and this square root will be cancelled, because square root of this meaning is you have to pick the group of pairs only one digit. Like here there is a 2 pair, 2 pair, 2 pair, 2 pair. This is 2, we pick only 2. Here also I pick only 2 to cancel the square root. 7 into 11, that gives me 308. That means square root of 94,864 is 308. That is a square root of 94,864. Next is find the least number by which 44,109 must be divided so that the quotient is a perfect square. Also find the square root of the perfect square. Same thing we have to, if there is a condition of multiply and divide, you have to go with the prime factorization method. When I go with the prime factorization of 44,109, I got the pair 3 into 3, 13 into 13 into 29. That means 29 is extra. For division, we have to remove extra number which has no pair is available. But for multiplication, you have to multiply to complete the extra pair. So here 29 should not be there. We have to remove this. That means you have to divide 29 both the side. Like 44,109 divided by 29. Then you have this pair. Only pair is left. Like 3 and 13 pair is left. So when you divide this by 29, that is 1521. If you check with the prime factorization of 1521, that gives you same as 3 pair of 3 and 13. Now after finding the square root, we get 3 into 13, that is 39. 39 is the square root of 1529. Now reason is that why each time to remove this square root, why we pick the pair of the number, because this square root meaning is, that is 3 square into 13 square, and if you square root condition is that we can write this way. Okay, and your exponent rule is there, if any power is outside, that is multiplied by inside term power, like 3, 2 into 1 by 2 into 13, 2 into 1 by 2, 2 is cancelled, only 3 into 13 is there. So that is the reason under this square root we have to pick only pair first, then we have to pick single number from each pair to remove this square root. Next is find the smallest perfect square divisible by 2, 3, 5. Also find the square root of the perfect square. You have to find the smallest perfect square root which is divisible by 2, 3, 5, and also find the square root of the perfect square. In this, which number you want to check with the divisible, you have to find the LCM. Like LCM of 2, 3, 5 is 30. When I got the LCM, 2, 3, 5 is 30. It means when you multiply 32 times, that is a 900, and 900 is a perfect square. You have to go with the prime factorization. You get the pair of 2, 3, 5. Pick single pair, that is the square root of 900 is 30. Now condition is find the least number that must be subtracted. I told you before that if there is a condition of finding the least number, either you have to go with the subtraction or either you have to go with the addition. You have to go with the square root division method, but multiplication and division you go with prime factorization, and for addition and subtraction you go with the square root division method. Here I have to check with the number. So I have a number 16,142. When I go with the square root division of this, so I got the number 127. Remainder is 13, because least number subtracted from 16,142, if there is a condition of subtraction, you can directly subtract the remainder. So I will get 16,129. 16,129 is equal to multiplication of 127 2 times. So if you take the square root, so square root of 127 2 times is 127. So that is the square root of 16,129, because in your question, after finding the least number, subtraction number, after subtraction, which number you get, you will find the square root of that. Next is find the smallest 5-digit number which is perfect square. Also find the square root of the perfect square. Smallest 5-digit number is 10,000. 10,000 is the pair of 2 4 times and 5 4 times, and when you make the pair of this is 2 2 5 and 5, you can pick only single number from each pair. 2 2 5 5, you get 100. 100 is the square root of 10,000, because when you multiply 100 2 times, that gives you again 10,000. Next is the find the least number which must be added to 52,270 to make it perfect square. Also find the square root of the number. Here we go with the same condition what we have done in the subtraction, but here little bit condition is changed. Instead of subtraction, we have to find the number by addition. Least number, first you have to find which number should be added in this. Condition is same. First you have to go with the square root division method, like 2 2s are 4, 2 plus 2 4, and make the space for next divisor. We find the next number 2, because when 42 multiplied by 2 gives me 84, that is less than 122. So after subtraction give me 38, 70 carry down. For the next divisor, same number 42 plus 2 is added, 44 we get, and make the space for the next divisor, and we found that number is 8. Now when we multiply 4 under 40 into 8, we get the number less than 38 under 70, that gives me 286. That means if you subtract 286 from this, you will get 51,984. Okay, and same thing, if you multiply 228 two times, that gives 51,984. But in my question I have to add the least number, not to subtract the least number. So I will check after 228, if I go with the multiplication of the number 229 two times, I add 1 in this 229 to check if after squaring this number is greater than whatever my required number is there. So here if I add in 1 228, I got 229, and if I check the square of 229, that is 52,441. If you check square of 228 and square of 229, and my given number is lies between that. But if I move with the square of this number, I have to subtract. But if I move from this number to the square of the next number, so that means I have to add. So instead of subtraction, I move to the next number, because in my question I have to add. So that now in this case, whatever given number in my question and whatever found I get greater number, the square of greatest number from the previous quotient, which I have divided by find the square root division method. So what you have to do, this one 52,441 should be subtracted, and 52,270 will be subtracted from 52,441 to find the which number I have to add in this to make the perfect square. So that is 171. It means when I add in my this original number that is given in question 179, I get the perfect square. So if I add 52,270 171, so I get 52,441. and if you go with the square root, that is multiplication of 229 two times, so that is the square root of 522,441. Square root of 522,441 is 229. Next is your 12th question is 11th question already solved in with your second question. Find the value of square root of 2.5. After finding the square root of 2.5 correct to 2 decimal places, means you have to only take 2 decimal places, and hence find the value of 13.5 plus root 2.5. First you have to go with the square root of 2.5. Because I told you before that before the decimal you have to move right to left, and after the decimal you have to move left to right to make the pair of the number. If no number is present, you take 0, pair of zeros to carry downward. Here 2.5, first before the decimal only one pair is there, like 1 ones are 1. After subtraction I get 1, and 50 carry downward because decimal is there. I keep decimal as it is in the quotient also. Here 1 plus 1 is added, gives me 2, make the space for the next divisor, and here 1 into 1. Here I need the number which should be less than 150. So I think about the number 5. Here same number should be placed in the quotient. 25 into 5 gives me 125, and 25 plus 5 give me the next divisor, and make the space for the next divisor here to find the next number. Next number, I have to think about this number which I have to multiply this whole number. I get the number less than 2500, so that is 8. So 8 should be placed in the quotient also. 308 multiplied by 8 give me the number less than 2500, that is 2464, and same number which is multiplied add in 308, like 308 plus 8 give me the next divisor. So that gives me 316, and make the space for the next divisor. Think about the number here to find the number less than 3600. Next number is 1. Then 3161 give me remainder. When 3161 multiplied by 1 give me remainder 439, and plus 1 add for the next divisor. No need to go further because in your question you have to go only 2 decimal places. So I just keep 1.581, leave as it is whatever is there, and we write always approximately with that. Approximately means division of this number is not end, there is further number is present, but we are round about only 2 decimal places. Now here in my question I have to add this square root of 2.5 value in 13.5. whatever I get the value square root 2.5, I just add in 13.5, give me 15.081. Now next question is, the side length of square is 11 centimeter. Find the length of its diagonal correct to 3 decimal places. Like here one square is given to you, length, because very well know that square all sides are same, so 11 centimeter is the side of the square, and you have to find the length of the diagonal. So I mark this diagonal AB and I just mark with this triangle ABC. So here in right angle triangle ABC, BC length is 11, AC length is 11. To find the diagonal, if I just look at this triangle, this is right angle triangle. If you have given perpendicular bases given to you and you have to find the hypotenuse, you have to apply the Pythagoras theorem. According to Pythagoras theorem, hypotenuse square is equal to perpendicular square plus base square. My hypotenuse is AB, perpendicular is AC and base is BC. AB square is equal to AC square plus BC square. Now here this AC square is 11 square, BC square is 11 square, that gives me 2 into 121. Same thing, if I have to take square root on both sides, here square root means is the fractional power is 1 by 2. Fractional power of the number, power is in fraction, that is 1 by 2, that is 2 into 1 by 2, 2 is cancelled, AB is left, and square root of 2 into 121. If you go with the prime factorization of 121, that gives me 11. Now only square root 2 division is left. When you go with the square root of 2 by square root division method, so after the 2 there is a decimal and I place the 0, pair of the 0 to carry downward to find the square root. First it goes 1, 1 ones are 1, 2 minus 1 gives me 1, pair of 0 is carried downward, then 1 plus 1 gives me 2 and make the space for next divisor. Next number 24 into 4, when you multiply by 24 into 4 give me 96, and my required number 4 should be placed in quotient also after the decimal, because after the decimal we have to carry down 0 downward. So here 24 plus 4, for multiplication you have to write here 24 into 4, and if you add 24 plus 4 that gives you next divisor, that is 28 and make the space for the next, that is 1. Now 281 multiply 1 give me 281, and when you add 1 that gives you next divisor, make the space for the next divisor. Think about the number here, then after multiplication that gives you number less than 11,900, so that is 4. Now I multiply 2800 24 into 4 and next divisor add 4. For the next divisor you have to add the last digit, and to make the calculation you have to multiply the last digit with the number, whole number. So here after calculation I found that because they are only, because also the square root of 2 is division of square root 2 is not end, so we consider only 3 decimal places, 1.414 approximately. When I place the square root of 2 value 1.414 approximately, that gives me 15.554 approximately, that is the length of the diagonal E. Now my last question is, positive integer x, y, z are in the ratio 2:3:5. If x square plus y square plus z square plus 8 is equal to 616, find the value of x, y, z. You have ratio is given, x ratio, y ratio, z is 2:3:5, but that is not the actual value, that is only ratio. So we consider that x is equal to 2a, y is equal to 3a, z is equal to 5a. So I have question is given, x square plus y square plus z square plus 8 is equal to 616. When you place the value of x square, y square, z square as 2a, 3a and 5a, I get 38a square 608, and my a value after square root is 4, and same a value you placing x is equal to 2a, y is equal to 3a, z is equal to 5a. You will get the answer 8, 12, 20. Thank you. Have a nice day.